I am Justin Hinkle, CEO of Suitcase Designs. Um, we are a web design company that focuses specifically on travel agency websites. And today's webinar is, whoa, a whole bunch of people just jumped in. Today's webinar is from outdated to outstanding, how to know when it's time for a website redesign. So we're going to discuss how to know when your website needs a refresh, the benefits a redesign can bring to your business, and just the massive difference in your online presence a redesign can bring you. So why website design matters. Your website is often the first thing a potential client sees. It's your first impression. Your site, if it looks outdated, if it's difficult to navigate, visitors might leave before they even learn what you offer. It's not just about looking good, it's about functionality, building trust with your client, and making it easy for users to find exactly what they need. It's more than a digital storefront. It's more than a business card for your company. It's the culmination of your sales funnel. What I mean by that is everything you're doing from email marketing to your social media should be directing them and pointing them back to your website. And then your website should be working to pull them on a path to conversion. It should be always working for you 24/7 when anybody lands on your website, to be telling them the story of who you are, what you do, and how you can help them, what that means to them, and really take them on a journey uh, from an emotional connection to you to conversion. What I mean by that is by booking a consultation with you or filling out your form to get a trip request. Um, Basically, whatever your call to action is. And first impressions matter. 38% of users will stop engaging with a website if the layout is unattractive. So what that means is basically if you have a layout that looks dated or pictures, like a lot of people are coming through mobile first. Uh, Words and pictures are off the screen that should be on the screen. Words are too small to read, the other way around. Your mobile presence is probably the first thing over half of your people are going to see. A well-designed website is not just going to be, hey, great, it looks good, but it's going to build trust in you. It's going to make you look more professional. And by looking more professional, you're going to drive more conversions. So key signs, it's time for a redesign. So I'll break these down one by one. If you recognize any of these issues with your own website, it might be time to consider a redesign. Each of these points can impact your business negatively, from user experience to search rankings. That's slow load times, outdated aesthetics, low engagement metrics, mobile unfriendliness, high bounce rates. All of those things are signs that you should be doing something to your website to update it, to make it more fresh and make it more engaging for your visitors. Slow load times. You get 2 to 3 seconds for your website to load, and then 2 to 3 seconds for them to know who you are, what you offer, and what it offers, what it means to the client, how they can get it as well. Um, if it loads slow, they're never going to get that first impression of you. Over 50% of users will leave a website if it takes more than 3 seconds to load. Slow website can be caused by several things. Your images could be oversized. The code could be outdated, so you could be on an old type of template or website builder, or an overloaded server. So I use SiteGround web hosting for our websites, and it's very, it's very fast. It's very stable, and from a server performance, uh, it really helps your clients get a quicker load on their website, and they don't notice these things that we see on the technical side when we're building our websites. Um, Investing in performance optimization can make a big difference. So you can make sure your images are only as big as the space needs. So you don't want a 2000 pixel image that is this big when your space is 400 by 500, and so you want to upload images in those sizes. You can use things like Canva to resize your images. That works great if you have Canva or Canva Pro even. Um, Another thing is there are image optimizers online that you can use. What that means is it will compress the image so it's a smaller size digitally, like how many megabytes it is versus, and so not just size by screen size, but the megabyte size of the image. These image optimizers, you just have to Google one. They're all over the place. Can compress your image so it still looks as good, but it takes up less space to load. So that smaller image memory data size is going to load quicker on your website as well. Outdated aesthetics. So design trends are evolving every 3 to 5 years. Uh, a lot of template websites are going to look the same. They don't have updates. They don't have the ability to creatively um, edit them in such a way that you can make it look more modern. Um, if your website, even if it's functional, the outdated aesthetics can make your business appear less credible. So think of your website like the digital business card in a sense, in this sense, this is just how it looks. So if your business card is just black and white and has your name and email address printed on there, that's not as professional as, like a glossy business card in your brand colors with your logo, your website, and everything else. It reflects the level of professionalism and innovation you want to convey. So a website that looks more modern is going to also communicate that you and your business are modern. Um, you don't want to look behind the times. You don't want to look like your business isn't able to keep up with this, because then how are you going to be able to keep up with the other technological things in the industry that are making people overwhelmed and coming to us in the first place as travel agents? So that modern design will improve not just the experience they have on your website, but also the trust they have in you and your business. That's something you really want to convey, that trust right off the bat. Low engagement metrics. So analytics are your best friend when it comes to identifying website performance issues. Um, if you see users, so you can use Google Analytics. I like to use Independent Analytics. It's a plugin for WordPress. All our sites are built on WordPress. With that, I can see if users are leaving quickly, if they're not interacting with the content. So you can see what blog posts are popular um, or not popular at all, or if they're just skipping over a page completely. If they're barely on that page, it's a sign that something's missing. A redesign can help make your content overall more engaging. So you don't just want to think about a redesign uh, in the realm of the way it looks, but also you want to think about a redesign in the way it reads. We have people who, if your content engaging or easy to navigate. So if your content is just a wall of words with no space in between, no subheaders, no pictures to break it up, um, and it just goes on and on talking about yourself and how great a travel agent you are, or how great these destinations are, it isn't engaging the client in such a way that they see themselves in your content. They need to see what's in it for them. That's always what they're looking for. As a consumer, we always want to know what's in it for us. We don't need to know that Apple is the best at making phones that have interact with your computer and your earbuds and everything else. We need to know, is it going to be easy for me to use? That's all I want to know. Is it going to do what I need it to do? Um, they want to know that you're easy for them to use. They want to know that, yes, you've got the experience, but how you're going to put that experience to work for the client. So you want to take a look at what you're writing on your website to also improve engagement, not just how it looks. Engagement metrics are critical for conversions. When you're looking at those metrics, you can see basically if they're engaging longer with a page, they're more likely to convert because you're pulling them in. And if you see that they're always, that page, say your about page has very short time on it, and that's the second most visited page on a website, but people are spending a short amount of time on there, less than a minute, you need to do more on that about page to pull them in and draw them in, from a sign that, what's missing, what is the value proposition that they aren't getting when they're reading your content. And it's not just about putting a bunch of, like, a gallery of photos of all your travel vacations, all the places you've taken a vacation on travel. Um, Sometimes people just do that, and you'll have a gallery of photos that don't do anything, but maybe you can click them and you can enlarge the photo. That doesn't inspire people. They don't know what that means. That sure, they can look at a pretty photo, but it doesn't tell them, you know, that you specifically specialize in, Mexican, all-inclusive vacations. You're just showing them a picture of the beach or something. I've seen some websites that just have like a picture of the airplane wing, trying to, and I get what they're trying to do. They're trying to spark, wanderlust and the want to travel, but at the same time, it's it's kind of haphazard. There's not a meaning behind it. There isn't, a strategy there. It's just hoping that people are inspired by those photos, and then you'll get, a booking. But you need to really tell them, you have to have those photos used strategically on your site to engage people. So photos with a caption, with some words that kind of pull them out, like, I specialize in, the Mexican all-inclusive vacations. Um, and then what that means to them. They're going to have, weighted on hand and foot, not have to worry about paying nickel and diming along the way, things like that, where they feel they're getting a benefit. That's what they want. They don't just want a pretty photo. They can go look at Instagram anytime they want. Mobile unfriendliness. So mobile traffic accounts for more than half of all website visits. And if your site isn't mobile friendly, you're turning away a significant portion of your audience. It's called a responsive design, and it ensures your site looks great and functions well on all devices. So that means you want to take out your phone and look at your website on your phone. Look at your website on your tablet. Look at it on a laptop. I've got a 13-inch screen laptop we look at it on, and then we look at it on desktop screens. I've got 27 and 32-inch screens here, so we can see the website at many different sizes, and different points to see where the client might have a user experience that isn't, ideal. Um, so when we say non-responsive site leads to frustrated users, that doesn't mean non-responsive like it's not working. That means non-responsive like it doesn't, um, adjust to the different screen sizes. Um, some things, like I said earlier, if you've got headlines and sub headlines, those are usually your bigger text. If they are pushed off the page and you can't read the whole thing, it's not wrapping and staying on the page. They're too big and it's not optimized for mobile. Sometimes I've seen websites that you go to mobile and it is the desktop website on your screen in really tiny text and pictures, and that's not going to keep anybody there. So mobile optimization is non-negotiable. You definitely need to invest in that. Um, it's one of those things that you even want to look at that first almost. So you just start designing your website from the mobile out. Um, it's one of those things that when you're pushing them from Facebook and Instagram, they're on their phones looking at those. So think about it that way. So they go to your website from their phone, and they're going to think, oh, this person doesn't have it together because there's something wrong with the mobile site. So if you're designing it, you're having someone else design it, always make sure it looks good on mobile too. Um, if it's looking great, functioning on all devices, you're really good to go. Um, but that's just so important. It's one of those things you don't want to miss out on. Bounce rates. So a bounce rate is the percentage of viewers who visitors who leave your page or leave your website, not just your page, leave your website after viewing one page. So depending on how your website's built, one page might be all you have. And so you'll look like you'll have a higher bounce rate. So you've got to take these into consideration on the way you've designed your website. A high bounce rate is someone walking into your store, taking one look around and leaving without saying a word. And now it could be due to poor navigation, the slow speeds, or content that just doesn't meet their expectations. And so identifying those issues can help you lower your bounce rate. So high bounce rate, when I say poor navigation, um, think about your menu having too many options. So you've got your about page, you've got a destination drop down that's got 20 different destinations so they can go look at because you want to inspire them to go to these places and you're trying to pull them in that way. Um, you want to keep that header navigation at the top of your page simple and the same on every page. It should basically have your about page, maybe frequently asked questions, a link to your blog, and then always a call to action button. So they know exactly what they're there to do. That call to action button is going to be very profound, just in their face. Schedule a consultation, start your journey, begin planning now, things like that. You want to let them know that that's why they're there. If they have too many choices in the navigation up at the top of your page, they're going to get either lost in your website and forget why they're there, or overwhelmed with your website and just leave. And that's where the high bounce rates come from. If your website, we already talked about slow speeds, that can cause a high bounce rate. So definitely make sure you're optimized for mobile. With SiteGround, for example, as a host, and other hosts have different things. There's a plugin for WordPress that is a speed optimizer, and it goes through like optimizing your images, like we just talked about earlier for web content, making sure that everything is served up in a secure manner over HTTPS. So that way you don't get like not, you'll be on Google Chrome and it'll have a little thing next to the website. It'll either have a nice lock that you're secure, or it'll say not secure, your connection's not secure. And there can be different reasons for that. But this type of plugin will help you take care of that. It helps you cache information, which means that it saves a copy of the page at a moment in time, so it loads quicker on people's phones. So if you're using a CDN, a content delivery network on your website, that's also a good thing to use because that stores an image of your website across the internet. So that image will load quicker for that region than it would if you were just delivering it from wherever your website is hosted, um, every time across the internet. Um, so a content delivery network that'll help with quicker speed loading times. And then irrelevant content. Every time I talk about irrelevant content, um, it's really down to remembering when, like, you've got to communicate who you are, what you do, what it means to the client, and how they can get it. And that needs to be communicated in the hero section. So that very first above the fold, when they land on the page, um, how they can get it is the call to action. And your call to action button should be the same all the way throughout your website. So they know why they're there, that you're putting it in their face. Um, but if you don't tell them right off the bat what it is you're doing and what it means to them, they're not going to go down through the rest of your website. It's already irrelevant. So that's the most important thing to get right, is start there and then tell them what problem you solve, because everybody's there because they've got a problem to be solved, whether they're overwhelmed or whether they just, they don't have enough time to deal with this, or they just know that, travel agents smarter than them at planning a luxury vacation and they're happy to pay for it. But you've got to let them know what problem you solve and how you solve it. Those are the next two things you want to hit on your website, and that keeps it relevant to what the consumer is looking for. You steer away from that too far and they're gone. They're done. They're going to scan your website at first, so make sure you have short blocks of text with headers. Those headers should be descriptive of, you could read the headers through the website and it should tell a story by itself. You want to make sure you tell them what benefits they get out of your service. Benefits being transformative outcomes. So like they have magical vacation memories because you've taken care of all the details. They travel with confidence, knowing that because they have an itinerary app that tells them exactly where to go and when to be there, and they don't have to think about anything there either. Um, so you tell them those benefits, that keeps it relevant as well. You definitely don't want to leave them hanging on that. Uh, Anything irrelevant is going to knock them off. And that's, like I said, a gallery of photos without any context, that's irrelevant. Um, you want to use your photos strategically. And I love imagery is great for a travel website. It's very important, but use it strategically and really draw them in with what they're going to get from your service. So your benefits of a redesign, you're going to have improved user experience, increase engagement and conversions, better SEO performance, a mobile responsiveness, easier to update and maintain, a fresh modern look. Uh, so a redesign can breathe new life into your business. It's not just about making the site look good, but it's about improving the overall experience for both you and your visitors. Because with a modern optimized website, you'll see increased engagement and better search rankings and more conversions. Um, but it's also, if you're updating it in a modern tool, you're going to have an easier time updating it as well. It's easier to maintain when it's been updated into a modern tool. Like again, I'm partial to WordPress. Some people use Squarespace or Wix, but WordPress is just so customizable. Um, there are many different types of builders like Divi and Elementor and Bricks that you can use to make it a little easier on you when you're designing. But just being able to have a modern look is going to take you a long way. Um, and then not just the look, but what your content says in your redesign. That's really important as well, the way you lay it out and the way you steer them through that story. Um, Better SEO performance. What that means is when people spend longer on your pages, longer in your blog, Google likes that and you rank higher. If you're writing your content in such a way that includes exactly what you are and what you're doing, and then you can rank for those keywords a little better. Like we're travel agency website design, and it helps us rank for keywords like that better than if we were kind of playful about what we did and tried to be more coy about it. You've really got to be straightforward telling them what you do. Um, so tips for successful redesign: you want to set clear goals. So really know what you're looking for. I'm going to show you just a document here in a second to walk through some things that you need to be including. Know your audience. So travel agents have an ideal client. You can't worry about saying, oh, I'm going to turn people away because I'm focusing on this one type of client. That's basically your foot in the door. You're going to get referrals. So this person was great. You should go call them. But you got to get your foot in the door with someone first. So you got to know your audience and focus on that client and talk to that client and how you solve their problem. Focus on the user experience, make sure it's a good navigation, make sure it loads on mobile design, prioritize mobile design, make sure it loads on mobile really well. That user experience is going to really pull through and keep them on your page longer. And then choose a reliable web design partner. So whether you're going with Squarespace, Wix, some people design on GoDaddy's platform, you really want to make sure that whoever you're choosing to work with, like if you're working with Suitcase Designs, can help you meet and achieve your goals. Like we're special in that way that we're one of the only ones out there, I believe, that works with travel agents specifically. We have a travel background ourselves. Um, so I want to show, let's see if I can bring this over here. Just a second. This document, because I wanted to show you things you should include in your website redesign, when you're doing this, you want a clear call to action on every page. So use an actionable phrase so they know what they're doing. They're going to book a consultation. They're going to plan their dream trip. Um, I like to keep the header sticky so that the call to action is always in the header. When they're scrolling down the page, it's always at the top of the page, but then sprinkle that button throughout. So they're going to see it repeated. They're going to know exactly what they're there for. Mobile friendly design, we talked about that. So make sure, in there, avoid pop-ups or elements that are difficult to click on mobile. Getting a pop-up on mobile, to me, is the worst. It really doesn't, it turns me off. I swipe away from the page because I'm just trying to get the pop-up to go away. I wanted to see what was on the page in the first place. Um, I'd usually put lead magnet things where people are using pop-ups at the bottom of the page, because if they've gotten through your page but they're not ready to buy today, that keeps them in your email marketing and in your sales funnel. Client focused content, speak directly to your audience, address their travel needs and desires, solve their problems, include things on your page like testimonials, success stories, FAQs, things that build trust. Testimonials are great social proof. Fast loading speed, we talked about that. A secure website, I was talking about that a little bit. HTTPS. So you should have an SSL certificate provided by your whoever's hosting your website. So you'll have that secure lock up by your website name, whether you're in Chrome or Safari. Um, Use strong passwords, obviously. Back up your site frequently. SiteGround backs up sites every day for us. So that's a big thing there that, if we screw it up and it goes down, we might lose a blog post and we just have to reload that. Search engine optimization. So you want to make sure on all your photos, you have alternate descriptions, you have meta titles and keywords in like a plugin like Yoast SEO. Um, and using independent analytics or any analytics tool just to track your site's performance. Um, Contact information and forms. Make sure you have that stuff. I like to put it in the footer so it's at the end of every page. As far as your email, phone number, social media links, because you don't want to push them out to social unless they've gotten all the way through your site and you're just trying to keep them back in that funnel. Make sure that any forms you have for bookings or anything are easy to complete, whether using Calendly or Turn or Jot form if you're using just a form for a requested consultation. And then include social proof. So any reviews, testimonials, link out to your Google reviews, pull those in. Um, you can even include like a case studies page that shows like a successful group trip you went on or something. You could even use that as a blog post. A blog, again, is a great thing for resources. Uh, it's going to improve your SEO. It's going to make you an expert in the arena that you're blogging about to the people who are coming to read your blog. Um, you want to make it shareable, so have like the social media links, share it to Threads or Facebook or email it to someone or LinkedIn. Because that'll attract more. That doesn't matter if you're on those platforms. What it does is they share it with their friends, and their friends come back to your blog. And as people see you as an expert in the area, they're more likely to book with you in the future. And then professional branding. So use consistent colors, fonts, and logos that reflect your business identity. Um, High quality visuals, um, including your headshot. They want to see you. It helps establish a parasocial relationship, and make sure again that layout is clean and organized. Leave white space between sections. Let their eyes rest as they're going down your page. So those are things I wanted to talk about real quickly and jump back in here. So next, we're at the end. If anybody has any questions or anything, you can put them in the chat or the Q&A box. I'd be happy to help. Okay, I'm not seeing anybody write anything in right now. That's okay. If you have any questions that you come up later, um, as you're thinking about this and as you're thinking about your redesign, you can email us um, at hello@suitcasedesigns.com. We are specialized for travel advisors. I went through careers on vacation myself. Um, we do end-to-end website solutions. So we design them to launch them. We handle customization, SEO, user experience. So any questions you have about any of those things, we're happy to help you with. And then we do ongoing support and optimization. When we do that kind of stuff, those are things we've got experience in as well that you could ask questions about. There is one Q&A coming in. I use Shopify due to wanting to add different marking. Should I change? If you're using Shopify, do you have a shop as well, Chris? Like, are you selling, travel related uh, gear or things like that? Yes. So you probably want to continue to use Shopify for that. You could, there is, like in WordPress, you could also use, there's a plugin for WooCommerce too, where you could use that as a shop. Um, but I wouldn't say you should change your shop. Um, but you could do a website that also links into your Shopify. So that way you could say, I've got my main website and then also, uh, here's my store, or, learn more about this part of my business. And then they click that link and it takes them to your Shopify shop in another tab. So that way they're on both tabs are on your website. That's what I would do in that case if you're selling travel related items as well. Any other questions? Okay. So that brings me to the end. We do have a Facebook group called Travel Websites Pro. So it says I got a new post. Your page speed is around average compared. Should I really try to optimize load times over content? Yeah, they're never going to get to your content, Chris, if your load times are slow. They're probably going to just scan away. That's, average. It depends on what you say by average. Um, if you're using like Google's Lighthouse speed measure, I think, you know, up to 89 is average in their yellow section, and then above that is green. So if you're in that average, you want to be in the high end average. That's what I'd say. So like up to like those higher 80s. If you're in the lower end of average, you're going to really want to look at ways so you can optimize that load time. There's something called lazy load, which loads the top of the page, what they see first quicker. And then as they move what's down the page off screen, that doesn't load until it comes up into view. So that makes your whole page load faster for the client, what they see first, even though it's actually loading slower in the back end where they don't see it. And that's a good thing. So you want to see that. That could help. Okay. Like I said, Travel Websites Pro is our Facebook group. Hello at Suitcase Designs is our email address. And then suitcasedesigns.com is our website. We do have specials for careers on vacation students and Wanderlust CEO students. So if there's anything, if you want help with any of the website redesign, you let us know there. If you've just got questions about it, hit us up at hello@suitcasedesigns.com, or you could even schedule a free consultation. You just have to hit the schedule our call to action button on our website, and you get a free 20-minute consultation. We can talk about whatever questions you have. But if no one has anything else, that brings us to the end today. And thank you, Suzanne. I really appreciate everybody calling in and hanging out and listening for this afternoon. And we usually have these every third Thursday of the month. So we'll have another one coming up. Um, February 22nd or February 20th. Sorry, I had to look at my calendar. February 20th. And on the 27th, in the Passport to Learning, we have a class on building the perfect about page. So that's next Monday, January 27th, Passport to Learning class. We're going to work on specifically building the perfect about page for your website. So hopefully I'll see some of you there. And everybody have a great day. Thank you. I appreciate it. Bye.